So hello and welcome to the second edition of From Gully to Gully. I'm with Zahid right now. And look, let's make no qualms about this. We are so-called lounge chair experts. We sit on a lounge chair, shout at the TV, and pretend we know what we're talking about. Zahid, we really mustered up the courage to do this after what was the most frustrating weekend, watching India and Pakistan lose out to rain.
I think we're going to have that again this week. A repeat.
I know, and it's like a 90% chance of rainfall. They have wanted to change the venues, but this great Jay Shah, doesn't he remind you of the biggest spoil sport when you were like a kid in all those birthday parties? Like someone
he's like the uncle who doesn't give your ball back when you hit it in the backyard.
Exactly. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You know. And he knows he has nothing to gain by keeping that ball, but he just to piss you off. Yeah.
I think, but to be honest, I mean, from what I hear, because you have all these conflicting reports going on, right? That they wanted to move to Dambula, but then the hotels apparently aren't good there, so India didn't want to play there. Pakistan apparently didn't want to play in Hambantota, so it's a bit weird.
Dambula hotel not being great. I mean, not everything can be like, you know, the Four Seasons or whatever. I mean, I appreciate they're all celebrities, but it's just a match. I think what they're annoyed about is a 45-minute journey from Hambantota Hotel to the stadium.
Yeah.
I guess their Bollywood playlists aren't that long. But anyways, but look, the toss is going to be really important. Short game.
Yeah.
More important than that, living up to our name, from gully to gully. Let's be honest. The Indian team experienced the classic gully cricketer's dream. Yeah?
Yeah.
Bat for the entire afternoon and go home without fielding. Now, I mean, let's hope Pakistan win the toss and get something similar, but I'm sure they'll want to bowl first.
I mean, yeah, if the conditions are overcast, raining, and the fact that it's going to be a shortened game, I'd prefer Pakistan to bowl first. But it's strange, in all the other games, even in the first game when Pakistan lost the toss, Babar said he would prefer to bat first. In the Bangladesh game, okay, it was in Lahore, he also said he would have batted first, which is strange. And actually, the Lahore pitch was not as easy as people thought. Okay, like Litton Das hit like 3 good shots, made it look like a flat track, but it wasn't the most Lahore track.
I have one thing to say to you. It's the Pakistan way. This is what they mean when they said the Pakistan way. We thought it'd be positive cricket, but it's actually announcing your 11 before the game just to show off.
I don't know what that is, yeah. But
fooling everyone at the toss. Yeah, and fooling everyone at the toss. Yeah, we would have batted first. Yeah, we would have batted first. And then when he wins the toss, we go first.
Yeah.
I mean, these mind games. See, this is where mind games come in. I mean, Babar Azam is really surprising.
Yeah, I didn't know he had that second, like third, fourth, fifth game in him. We talk about his bowling changes and inability to bring on the pacers when needed, but I think he's playing on a completely different level right now to us. He's 4 steps ahead. He's like in some Inception game.
And but speaking of the Pakistan way, it's like watching. I mean, I don't know about you, but this has to be one of the most frustrating tournaments I've seen. And it's actually reminded me of the early 2000s Pakistan team. We're starting to lose a couple of wickets earlier than normal. We start meandering at 3 runs and over in the middle. I'm not quite sure what's changed.
That's the thing. Nothing has changed. The only thing that's happened is that you're getting consistent performances from the team, not from individual players. Fakhar Zaman. But what's actually happened is that if you look at it, 9 of these 11 are short shots, and they've been playing for the last 2 years at least. This is the first time ever Pakistan, assuming Fakhar Zaman is going to play the World Cup, will have the same opening pair back-to-back in World Cups, 50 overs. So I think it's the consistency that you say what's changed, but I think it's more the fact that things have stayed the same is what's led to this change.
But Fakhar Zaman, I mean, he's like a left-handed Shahid Afridi now. It's almost painful to watch him bat. He started taking middle stump guard, but literally, I mean,
I think he's worse than the left-handed Shahid Afridi, because with Shahid Afridi, he'd play a really rash shot and you'd see it. He just I don't know, he plays like a half cut, half drive, gets out to a straight ball coming in. It looks really bad. I don't know what.
And the keyboard warriors on Facebook will still be arguing that Fakhar Zaman should be opening in T20 cricket.
Yeah, ahead of Babar and Rizwan, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess the problem is, I mean, I think it's a bit too late now to bring Abdullah Shafiq in, who's probably the obvious option.
Question for you. We may end up with a 20 over match.
Yeah.
Let's say Pakistan plays there and chases. Open with Babar and Rizwan?
No, I would open with Imam and Fakhar.
The
Because the problem is
have...
like if then Imam is like a waste, then you bat him with like 9 or 10.
Exactly. I was thinking, I was like, okay, Fakhar can be 3, and then you have your usual T20 middle order, and poor Imam ul Haq will be like the Yunus Khan of 2005 coming in at number 8. Look, I think the only real talking point from Pakistan's perspective is who comes in number 8, right? It's Nawaz versus Fahim versus Wasim. Personally, if I had to choose, I would go with Wasim. I just think, it's better to go with, if you want to go with someone who can get you wickets and you don't think Shadab Khan is good enough at the moment, he's not as in form as he was with the ball before, Wasim is probably your answer. But I guess it's, a collapse from Pakistan is always around the corner, and you need the extra insurance with the bat.
Yeah. I mean, for him to save the day with the bat. It's not his batting. I think because he bowled decently well against Bangladesh, he got Shakib's wicket, and he went for 4, under 4. I think that is enough to seal his place. So because he's done decent, I think
they'll keep him.
They'll keep him 100%.
Yeah. Let's not call him Fahim Ashraf. Let's big him up. He deserves it. Let's call him the Pakistani Ben Stokes. Because that's what he is.
That's what he is.
He's a 130 k's an hour bowler who supposedly increased his pace. And he's a left-handed batter who will win the game single-handedly for Pakistan.
I mean, as long as he can be half the batsman that Ben Stokes is, I don't care about his bowling. To be honest, I mean, he's the best that you have, so you might as well give him a go. And we'll see, we'll take a call. The other thing I want to actually quickly touch on was this fashion of announcing the team 24 hours before the match. I know there's it's fine for this tournament, but I hope they don't overdo it in the World Cup, because you'll have, days where you have to see the pitch the next day with, close games back to back. You need to assess the pitch in the morning, what the weather is like. So I hope, especially that Nawaz versus Fahim goal, I think will be a debate throughout the World Cup. So
yeah, I mean, Chennai pitch probably Nawaz.
Unless one day they actually announce it and then they change on the morning of the game.
And then we'll just bow to Babar Azam's brilliance. I'm sure it's within the rules. I'm not sure it's within the spirit of the game. But yeah, why not? Let's just, look. But I do think we should be promoting our players a little more, right? I'm going to be rooting for Fahim Ashraf. I don't know whether you've been following the commentary in this tournament, right? I mean, Gautam Gambhir before the India-Pakistan game said, and he literally said this with as straight a face as you could imagine. He said, this is the first time in his memory that the Indian bowling fast bowlers are better than Pakistan's. I think that was because he was standing next to Irfan Pathan, and in classic Gautam Gambhir style, he was taking Irfan Pathan. Because we all know Gambhir doesn't really like everyone around him. So, I mean, it was baffling to hear him say that. Even the host was a bit like,
but that's typical Gambhir. He just says stuff to be controversial for the sake of it, even though it's got absolutely nothing to do with reality. Let's not even go about go through his other stuff that he's been in the news for in the past week or so. Back to the commentary point, I think okay, Gambhir, yes, but there's some very other questionable. I mean, I'm not a professional commentator, so who am I to say all this? But the likes of Amir Suhail, who repeatedly talk about Pakistan in the first person. Oh, if we could have done this, we can get over the line.
It's all about us. But I miss Ramiz Raja's vocab. I still remember his favorite thing. Pakistan, Umar goal off. off to a bonanza, and you immediately think, remember that
Yeah.
shop in Pakistan, Bonanza?
Yeah,
And then
Bonanza.
right after that, you get the ad Bonanza, and I'm like, this cannot be scripted.
I think he
You-
just like learns like a few words before the match, and he's like, I need
just
to use
opens the
them.
dictionary, but right, no matter
Yeah.
what happens, I'm going to use these words.
Exactly.
No matter what happens.
But I think,
Yeah.
the other thing is for the Pakistan leg, I think had probably poor quality of commentators just because everybody else didn't travel. You for the India one, you'll have the likes of Ravi and Co. There in the
Yeah,
Sri
I mean,
Lanka leg, so you have the
it's
entertainment.
logistics also. It's also
Yeah.
logistics. I'm sure it's quite tough. But like, I mean, you had like Andy Flower to fulfill a certain quota, if you know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah,
otherwise,
representing Multan Sultans and giving his insights on Rizwan and his.
that's exactly why he's there. Just for Rizwan's expertise on Rizwan. No, but it's not just the commentators, right? It's even the channels within India. I mean, I was literally watching a channel where they were comparing 1 to 11 on batting and bowling. And they were seriously talking about how Kohli has the edge over Babar Azam because of his bowling. And I'm like, I'm like, how can you be serious right now? But yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, look, great times ahead. I'm sure we'll be
Just
equally
before you finish
frustrated
up,
this time.
India will be unchanged.
India unchanged. India completely unchanged. Well, actually, Rahul apparently is doing pretty well in fitness test. I personally think Kishan gets in over Rahul. I don't think Iyer deserves to be dropped.
Yeah.
I mean,
by unchanged, I mean unchanged versus the Pakistan team because Bumrah went away and came back for the Nepal game. So I think
that obviously would happen. I mean, Gambhir is saying that Rohit Sharma should bat at 3 and Kishan should open, but you go figure that one out.
Kohli at 4.
But in any case, look, I think predictions. Zahid, India, Pakistan, victory. Rain. But yeah, let's go with rain and hope we're wrong.
By the way, just before we finish, my pattern of prediction was pretty close from the previous episode. I said India would lose early wickets. Maybe I said 2, they lost 4. Then I said they'll have a big partnership and they'll get to 280.
This is what you call selective amnesia, Zahid. I think I'm the one who predicted Pandya would be the highest scorer, and I was laughed at. Let's just talk about that. And then Haris, okay, 1 wicket less.
Yes, Iyer looked really good. As I said, he looked really good.
He did. I'll give you credit. You had the right logic for Iyer. We always bring the out of form or the new batter in form. You just picked the wrong batter. Yeah, Kishan was a bit closer to, I think he was 5 runs short. But anyways, I actually think it would have been a closer game than many people think. It wasn't a slam dunk. But anyways, look, I think it's going to be, my prediction is it's going to be rain. Actually, no, I'm going to, Pakistan are going to win. Haris Rauf, Babar Azam, I'm going all Pakistan. I'm going all Pakistan and I don't care. And we're going to see if they are having a strike rate of 130.
India, Shaheen Afridi, Virat Kohli.
You think Kohli will come good? Yeah, close
and I'll give you my logic for that as well. And then if the strike rate 95, I just think it's impossible for Sharma and Kohli to fail back to back against Pakistan, and that's why I'm going for an India win, because one of them will fire, and that would mean India will win.
Yeah, I'm tempted to agree with you, but I cannot do that. So,
and eventually, I don't mind if they perform now and then they flop on the 14th of October, but that's a different debate.
But anyways, all right, thanks, Zahid. I predict that this time next week would be equally frustrated. But let's hope for the best, and let's hope for a good, even if shortened game. 90% chance of rain.
All right, fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.